Welcome to Math 596, Topics in Imaginary Numbers and Functions. My name's Dr. Matt Salamone. I'm going to be your tour guide for the next few weeks as we work together to understand what complex numbers have to do with effective teaching of middle and high school students in mathematics. So in this video, I just want to give a brief overview of what are the goals that I have for the group of us for the semester, and talk just a little bit about the electronic tools that we're going to be using to communicate and collaborate throughout the course. So, first of all, Blackboard. Blackboard is going to look pretty sparse for us. I'm not in the habit of keeping most of our course materials here on Blackboard, but it will be kind of a good grand central station to go to find the links that are most important. You may also want to bookmark these links separately. The main two links that you're going to want to keep in addition to Blackboard bookmarked are this link that takes us out to the course website. We're going to take a look at that in a minute. It is going to be the main hub for harboring all of our digital materials and readings and information about assignments and everything. And the second is going to be a link to our course Discord. Discord is going to be our main place to communicate and collaborate throughout the semester in an asynchronous fashion. So those two links are going to be the most important ones to bookmark. You'll also find them directly here on our Blackboard front page. So first of all, our course website. It's going to look something like this. So this is a website that I built in a content management system called Notion. And what it's going to have is everything materials-wise that you're going to need to access. It is first and foremost a syllabus, and so you're going to see that the front page has a lot of the same features you would expect to see in a syllabus for a course. But the syllabus is a rich syllabus. It's linked in a lot of different ways to different assignments and different materials, and so definitely following the links on this syllabus page are going to get you to where you need to go to do the work for the course. There's a link here to our Blackboard site, a link out to the Discord site, and as we get a little bit further on into the material, there's links to additional information on the learning goals for the course. A lot of these links, you just have to hover over them in your browser and a little open button will show up to access additional information. As well as links out to our reading materials and other videos and other content that I produce for the course as we go along is going to be made available through this course website. I'm going to talk just a little bit about these learning goals in a moment after I introduce you briefly to our Discord site. So Discord, if you haven't used it before, is an all-purpose messaging, communication, and collaboration hub. It's sort of like Slack, except that Discord is a little bit more flexible, more customizable. It also happens to be where a lot of people who play video games tend to hang out in Discord servers and collaborate, but also a lot of hobbyist communities and other stuff have Discord servers of their own where they meet and collaborate on all kinds of different things. And I love Discord for teaching. For a few reasons, one of which is that it allows us to really flexibly set up communication and chat channels. It's also a great way to send me direct messages. I have Discord and the app on my phone, so at any time if you message me via Discord, I'll get a little notification that pops up. That's the best way to reach me about course-related stuff during the semester. For me, it displaces a lot of email traffic and it's a much more quick and interactive way to stay in touch. You'll also notice when you get into the Discord site that we have individual chat channels for a variety of different purposes for our course. One that's general and meant to be kind of an announcements and overall course sort of Q&A. There is a math chat channel, which is designed for any questions about the mathematical content as you're going along. Reading chat, so we'll be doing some readings of other types of material that aren't directly about mathematical content, so it'll be a good place for us to discuss the reading. And as we transition into our semester project, you're going to be working with a small group of your fellow teacher scholars on a project, a lesson plan project for the semester. And so both you will have a chat channel that is just the members of your working team that you're working with. So just the three of you will have access to that channel to collaborate on the work you're doing together. And there'll also be a general project chat channel here as well. I also, in every Discord course, every time I use Discord for teaching, we have an off-topic channel. So anything that you might chat about at the water cooler, in your teacher's lounge, at your school, feel free to use this as your spot to connect with your fellow teacher scholars in the course over the summer. This is going to be a little bit less lightly, moderated than the others, but of course, still keep your conversation civil. I'm sure you will. I'll participate a little bit less in here. I want this to be a space that is just for you. Discord also has the ability to do video and audio chats and hangouts, similar to Zoom or Microsoft Teams. And so when the occasion arises where it might be helpful for us to look at a screen together or to have a synchronous face-to-face meeting, there are places here in Discord for us to do that. So it's really great communication and collaboration hub. That's why I love it for teaching, especially for an asynchronous course where we don't have regularly scheduled times where we're going to be getting together and looking at the course material. So probably one of the most important first things to do as you're arriving in the course this semester is to follow this link that says Join the Course Discord. Only follow this link once because it's going to take you through an invitation process to get connected into the Discord site. Set up a Discord account if you don't already have one. After you've done that and you've arrived in the Discord course for the first time and you're all set to go, don't follow this link again. Follow the link that just says Course Discord. After everybody's arrived, I'm going to delete this one just to avoid any confusion after the fact. The last thing I want to do in this introductory video is just give a brief overview of what are the goals that I have for us this semester. So, secondary math students, middle and high school students, many of them encounter complex numbers. We're talking about the number I, the square root, one of the square roots of -1. Many middle and high school students encounter it along the way, but usually it's a very passing encounter. And there's a lot of air of mystery around imaginary numbers and complex numbers for very good reason. But what I hope to convince you through our course this semester is that the complex numbers are a much richer source of very accessible, very applicable, very engaging mathematical resources for yourself and for your students. So I'm hoping that the material we learn about complex numbers and functions this semester are going to both deepen your mathematical knowledge for teaching, not just for teaching about this content, but teaching about any types of content across the Massachusetts frameworks for mathematics, and also give you some ideas for maybe some ways you could sprinkle in some of these topics into interesting and engaging activities for your middle and high school students as we go forward. So here are the 5 learning goals that I have for the course. The first one is to connect symbolic representations and arithmetic operations on complex numbers with geometric operations in the complex plane. So we can do arithmetic with complex numbers, add them, subtract them, multiply them, divide them, take their modulus, take their complex conjugate, that sort of stuff. And it's one thing to do an operation with arithmetic, it's another to have a geometric representation of what's happening. And one of the main themes of our course is going to be to see the unity between arithmetic and algebra that we do on the one hand, and analytic geometry that we can watch happening in the complex plane on the other hand. So you'll notice a flavor of that connectivity throughout all of our learning goals for the semester. I really want to emphasize that commonality and that ability to translate between different modes of mathematical thinking, arithmetic and algebraic on the one hand, geometric on the other hand. Second goal is to study functions who have a complex input and a complex output. So a function that takes a complex number as input and spits out a complex number as output. Functions are one of the unifying themes of the middle and high school math curriculum, and they are so important to students' mathematical growth and development as learners. And one of the unique things about functions of a complex variable is that we can understand them as transformations in the sense of geometry. So there's another one of those connections across the various parts of mathematical thinking. So how do we study functions of a complex variable as transformations of the complex plane, and then use that correspondence to represent and solve problems in algebra? So that's a really important thread that we're going to follow throughout the semester. The third goal is to take the familiar functions that we study in the middle and high school math curriculum, everything from power functions and polynomial functions up to the transcendental functions, exponential functions, trigonometric functions, logarithmic functions, and figure out what happens when we permit the input and output of those functions to be a complex number. What does it even mean to take the exponential of I? What does it even mean to take the cosine of 1 plus 3i, right? So what happens when we allow for those functions to have complex inputs and outputs? What changes? What doesn't change? This is a really rich source of questions and answers that we're going to spend time together with. The fourth goal is somewhat related to calculus. So because this course is going to count as an analysis distribution course in your program, we ought to do something that connects to the sort of apotheosis of the secondary math curriculum, calculus. So we're going to talk about how do we take the derivative of a function of a complex variable. Again, it's similar to the previous goal. What is the same as when we work with real valued functions, and what's new and different and exciting about the derivatives of complex functions? And how do we interpret the meaning of the derivative of a complex valued function in terms of the function's transformational properties? As we'll see, it's not quite as simple as in real valued calculus, where the derivative is just the slope of a tangent line to the graph of a function. Even the word graph is a fraught question when it comes to complex functions, but there is a really cool geometric interpretation that we can do of the derivative of a complex function. So those are kind of our complex math curriculum kind of goals. And again, the emphasis for all four of those is going to be looking at them not just through the lens of algebra by itself or the lens of geometry by itself, but looking across algebra, arithmetic, and geometry and what are the connections one to another. That's because I have two important mathematical knowledge for teaching, pedagogical content knowledge goals for us together this semester. The first, and this is going to be related to your project you're going to be working on with your project team throughout the semester, is I want to help you create lesson plans and student activities that are appropriate for your grade level that really emphasize the connectivity of subject matter across two or more different framework standards. So how do we build a lesson that can help students not just drill down on something about algebra or just something about geometry, but can help them to really see the rich connections between the two of those different types of frameworks? Again, studying functions of a complex variable is a very rich source of those cross-cutting, unifying themes that can touch many different content area framework standards all at once. So that's teaching goal number one. And the second goal, and this is a little bit of a meta goal, but not really, because as you're maturing in your career as a professional educator and receiving your final licensure and your Master of Arts in Teaching degree, I want to help you prepare not just to be excellent teachers in the classroom, but also to be excellent leaders in your department, in your district. And part of that is really just gaining more experience participating both as a facilitator of and a contributor to a professional learning community of teachers looking to grow in your practice and your mathematical knowledge for teaching together. So that's why we have this Discord collaboration site, is I'm really hoping that we can have some rich conversations together that can build one another up, help one another out, and help us all to grow in our practice as educators together. So those are the 6 goals for the course. We're going to have a variety of different types of assignments and tasks for you to do as the semester evolves. This is the first time I'm teaching this particular course here at BSU, so as usual, we're kind of going to be building parts of the plane as we fly it. So I hope you'll bear with me as we figure out how to navigate this all together, but I really do look forward to working with you. Please feel free to contact me with any questions, raise me on the Discord, and let's do all this stuff together. I look forward to working with you. Welcome.